Hello? Hello, everybody. You there? Hello? Hello? Is this the Black Sheep podcast? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I am Jess.
And I am Jen.
And this is Coffee Talk. We're just going to have a little coffee talk, and we're going to talk about this book and this topic that I have been obsessed with for the better part of a year now. Because I honestly have to say, I don't really think that I know if I don't know if I knew about this until Candace did that expose last year. It was about this time. And I'm not sure if I knew about this before or not. I feel like I did because I've known about Michelle Obama for a long time. So I feel like I had to have known. But anyway, this is the first real deep dive I've done into it, and wow, was it good. So before we get to the actual topic of today's podcast, we're just going to do a little update.
Yeah, we're going to do a
little farm update.
Little farm update. Peggy Sue has transitioned into the barn since our last episode. And that was hard for her and for probably me more than you, but relief for our whole family since we're sleeping through the night and we're not waking up to baaing next to our bed.
Yeah, it's still tough though. She's having a real hard time with it. So, because it's kind of tough because she's not quite big enough to be left in the pasture, but she's too big to be in the house. She's just
she's in a transition place.
It's like too much peeing and pooing, and there's just no way that it could be.
She tried to follow me into the house the other day, though.
Yeah.
Like she wants to come back in the house. And then she walk to the studio door to go into the studio.
Oh, man. And then when I go into the pasture, she doesn't want to come. Well, she sits at the barn door. She's just like, no.
She got
and then she
kicked.
Screams.
That's why. Daisy kicked her.
Yeah.
But not like.
Not hard.
She didn't go flying, but it was enough that Daisy was just like, get out of the way, moved her, and then she was stunned. So now she won't go in the pasture, but she's got to eventually go in the pasture. So it's a interesting transition for us. But I am grateful that she's not in the house right now because it's that month of February was the toughest. I think also energetically, it was a really hard month for a lot of people. It was very dense energy, heavy. And so I'm really happy that March is here because it feels a lot lighter. The energy has changed. It's like a weight's been lifted for a lot of people.
Yeah, I honestly was expecting February to be a really nice month of relaxing. That's what I was thinking I'd get our seeds in order, which we haven't even done, which is crazy. It's like March 7th, I think. And in my opinion, we're about a week or two behind already at least. So.
I'm not worried. Lent. We're doing Lent.
Yeah, it's Lent. I'm actually not giving up something this year for Lent. I'm taking on something, which is interesting because I feel like, yeah, I know. I had a really good rationale for that. Because I think I'm suffering, I'm creating suffering for myself. So part of Lent is suffering. And I thought, well, I'm going to try to alleviate the suffering, which I think is something that Jesus would want. So I'm going to spend 20 minutes a day relaxing and taking care of myself. And doing
active relaxing. So not
on my phone, not listening to something.
Not watching TV.
Being mobile, breathing,
meditating, being still.
When I say mobile, I mean mobility, stretching something or yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to really make an effort to do that. To try to really, mostly just to try and breathe. Just to calmly breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gary Brecka, I don't know if you guys know who that is. I'm sure that some of you do, but probably some of you don't. But you should look him up. He's amazing. And he says the number one thing, if you take away anything from the 1,000 things he recommends, is a breathing regiment. And I mean, he says to do it in the morning, so I guess I should take my 20 minutes in the morning. But
Yeah, there's lots of regimens you could do.
no, but I could
You
see
know.
the benefit of doing a breathing regimen first thing in the morning, which would be like a meditation, which would be a meditation basically first thing in the morning. I can see you do that, and I can see the benefit of that.
Yep. Every morning. Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Well, I'll see how you do and hope, you know.
It goes until Easter. So, just under 40 days or just around 40 days, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll ask you at the end of that how that went.
It'll be
Yeah.
good. It'll go good. It'll go good. I'm,
Maybe you should
looking
keep a
forward to it.
journal so you know what
yeah,
you're doing.
maybe, but I probably won't.
That's
But I should, but I probably won't. But it's a nice thought, and maybe I'll try. But there's just something about me and writing. I'm just not a big writer. I don't generally like to write. It makes my hands sore. So I don't generally do a lot of writing. It doesn't take long. When I start, it's actually really funny if you looked through some of my journals, because it's not like I don't. It's just like not a habitual thing I do. But the very beginning of it always looks so type A. It's very nice printing. It looks good. And then within a paragraph or two, it starts to get very sloppy. And then it's like going on an angle. And then it's like, okay, my hand hurts.
Yeah. But you do
Yeah.
like sitting down with a coffee and writing out ideas and plans and stuff. So
Yeah, I do like to do that. If I know what I'm trying to achieve, I always write it out. Always. Yeah. Helps me process it better. They say that.
Can you open that vent?
Can you please adjust the fire?
Um,
We're almost out of fire burning season, which is nice here because we burn a lot of wood and we go through a lot of loads of wood and stacking and chopping. And I mean, we always will have fires here all year long regardless, but it's this constant every day, no matter what, keeping a fire going is
it's work.
it is work. But it's like good work. I enjoy chopping wood, and I got a new axe recently, so that was fun. It's nice to chop wood with a nice axe because it certainly makes it a lot easier. But it does. But it's just it's a constant thing.
I mean, I enjoy having the fire in the studio for when clients come. I love the smell of the fire. I love
Yeah.
the crackle of the wood, and I like feeling connected to the element.
Yeah.
So,
And wood fires are the most environmentally friendly ways to heat because it's already carbon neutral. Like it's carbon neutral. And so if you think of it, trees are always dying. That's just inevitable. And so if you just forged for, which we can do, forge for trees that are fallen, which are already dead and therefore ready to burn, and you just chop them, it's pretty reasonable, right? Like then building gas lines and all the, not that I'm opposed to gas. I love gas. Let me just make that very clear. Oil and gas. I'm very pro oil and gas, natural resources. But I'm just saying that wood is probably the best way for a lot of people to heat.
yeah, I think if we get a maybe a new house in the like down the road, I would want a wood
Yeah.
stove.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah.
I would do that.
So I'm going to tell you what I'm doing for Lent now.
Oh, yeah. What are you doing for Lent?
I'm not going to complain. I'm just forging past conversations instead.
What? Excusez-moi. Je ne comprends pas.
So our topic of today, nobody got that. Okay.
Well, that's why I said je ne comprends pas.
So instead of complaining about something,
Yeah.
I'm just like moving on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean, that'll be delightful. It will be. Not that you complain a lot, but that's nice. It's nice to have an optimistic look on things and just let things go.
Well, what I'm noticing is that I'll complain in my own head and I'll complain out loud and I'll vent. And I know that I don't feel good when I do that. I get caught in a lot of negativity. And if I'm spiraling out of into a lot of negativity, it's harder for me to bring myself out of that. So I'm just watching when I complain and how it makes me feel and when it's not helpful. So I'm not going to complain for the month and see how it goes.
Cool.
And when it
I think that's a detriment, but I don't know.
Why?
Because I can aggravate and cause for complaint. So
Yeah, very easily. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So anyways, I'm just saying, good for you. I mean, that's crazy.
I don't know. Perhaps by the end of the month, I'll be like a volcano ready to explode. I don't. So I'm gonna have to be.
That's hurtful. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, that's cool. We'll see.
I'm gonna try to be.
Have to put the punching bag up.
Well, it's not. I don't want
out.
that to be that's not the goal of this either. Is to hold in my anger. That's not the point of this. The point of it is to become mindful of when I go to complain and how I'm getting caught in a negative loop.
Yeah, fair enough.
And how I want to break that pattern rather than suppressing how I'm feeling. I don't want to, I'm not going to suppress how I feel. I'm going to, if I need to vent and be angry, I'm going to still do that. And I'm still going to assert my needs and my frustrations because I need to set boundaries.
Okay, that's good. For a second, I thought there would be none of that. So no, that's good. Okay, cool. Well, I think that's fun. I think that's a good challenge.
Yeah, it'll be a good challenge for me.
Cool.
Especially in regards to parenting.
Parenting's tough, man.
Yeah.
Especially of a teenager. That's tough.
Who calls you on your shit every day.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
She's a mirror, and she's happy to show you that she is.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy.
Pretty humbling.
Yeah.
But
it's also awesome because if you're the type of person that's just going to freak out and never be able to
own it,
then you're never going to grow. This is a really good opportunity for us to grow. Don't you think?
Yeah, she's there to challenge us.
Because I feel like it.
Yeah. It's good. It's humbling, and it's requires us to step into constantly being a better person instead of getting petty or getting defensive or shutting down or getting reactive. She's always here to show us how to become better.
I think of my parents, maybe not so much my dad, but my mom, and I think of if my mom could have been more like this, like me, like us, being willing to see these things, then maybe it would be different, in ways. But anyway, so I think it's valuable.
I know. I think about that same for my parents, and they only knew what they knew, and they parented as best as they could with all that information that they had. But what we know about generational trauma, what we know about our own healing, we've already, changed the path. And, in the indigenous cultures, they say everything that you do in this life will impact the next 7 generations.
Right.
So how we choose to respond to our daughter, how we choose to role model a healthy life, how we choose to follow our dreams, right, and to live in our truth are all going to impact her and the future generations after. So I guess she's a great mirror in return because we get to see the benefits of her challenging us and speaking her truth and standing her ground.
Yeah.
Those are all amazing attributes that she has as a result of our parenting. So yay for us, Yay.
Can you put in a clap? Okay. So we have to move on because we have to. So again, who's familiar with this story of Brigitte Macron, guys? So the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, his wife, Brigitte Macron. Most people by now have at least entertained the fact that she is a much older woman that was dating a younger guy. Right? We can like all...
And what's the age difference?
Okay, so the age difference is like there's a discrepancy because there are people that are under the impression, because the press, obviously we know that the media always tells the truth about everything, right? So that's where there's like a bit of a there's
Discrepancy.
a discrepancy. Thank you. Most people will say that he was 17 and she was 39. That's a common misconception.
Whoa.
But what it really was is he was 14 and she was 39. That they apparently start to engage in a relationship. But when I tell you the conclusion, it's almost irrelevant about this because it seems like, well, you'll understand why that begins to be irrelevant. But that's the fact is at 14 and 40 basically is when they started to have a relationship, when they met in a school in France. In Amiens, France.
So if they said that he was 17 and she was 39, in Canada it's
Okay, so that's a good question. The age of consent in France. Okay, can you look this up? Because I don't have it written down, but I'm pretty sure that the age of consent in France is 15. Okay. So, and the age of consent in Canada is 18?
18
Or 16. I think they changed it to 16. 16. Okay. So, pretty fucking gross, really. Even 16 is disgusting because don't you dare tell me that a 16-year-old can't be manipulated by someone who's
a 40-year-old man.
40. And don't tell me that even an 18-year-old can't be manipulated by a guy that was 40.
Right.
It's just, you don't just turn 18 or 16 and all of a sudden this thing clicks in your brain where you're no longer able to be manipulated, or where you're all of a sudden mature enough to make big lifetime decisions like having a sexual relationship or something along those lines. And then you add in the power structure, because you have to remember she is a teacher. So even if he was 17, which he wasn't, he was 14, it's still a teacher, which is someone of power, right? So very, very different than an 18-year-old boy and a 14-year-old girl. Not that I still think that's acceptable, which I don't, but I'm just saying, I think there's a more rational explanation for that relationship than I do for a 40 and a 14.
Right.
Like there's just no reason for a 40-year-old and a 14-year-old.
teacher.
And a teacher. Of course.
Having a relationship with one of the students.
Yeah.
Is not appropriate anyways.
No.
Okay,
so
the plot keeps thickening with this story.
So that's basically the story. They meet in this school. He's smitten with her, and how the French press actually spun this was they made him out to be like a conqueror when he was running for his position of president. The other whole part to this is, of course, there's a Rothschilds connection. So David Rothschild plucks him out of school and takes him on in this junior executive banking role. And everybody's really angered by this at the company because there's instances where in meetings, Emmanuel Macron doesn't know basic formulas, let's just say. That he just doesn't understand. And the other executives are like, what's going on here? Like, how is this guy the vice president or whatever his position was? And he doesn't even know this. Mm-hmm. So it turns out that when Emmanuel Macron was in university at this school, every year they do rankings of who's, best, what's top grade, whatever. Okay. That's pretty standard. Most universities do that. You can see where people ranked in law school and everything else. Well, that year they dismissed that system because Emmanuel Macron was in the bottom. So that year they took out the ranking system and all of the other students were furious. And there's just so many little things like that that don't make any sense. Like they've been doing this for years, and then the year after he left, they reinstated it. Totally normal. So anyway, so he goes to work for Rothschild, and then shortly after that, he is put in the administration prior to the one he ran to be president. He was the finance minister. Okay, so he gets his way into the government, and then he's positioned, of course, for the election that I think he ran in the 2017 election. Maybe you can check that. I think he's been president since 2017.
Does it sound like he's getting kind of guided into a
100%,
certain direction?
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's being groomed and guided and put in the places of
Groomed.
the positions of power. Like he has no business being the finance minister.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
At this point in his career,
Who
he
would
has
elect that?
no business. He was
Yeah.
in his early 30s at this point. He has no business doing this job. So he's obviously being put into the positions. There's no doubt about that either. So that's crazy. And this is how, you know, I say about to the people in Canada right now with Mark Carney. This is the exact same thing. This is a guy that has zero business being a politician in Canada, and yet he's being maneuvered through. You had two liberal people that should have won the opportunity to run for the head of the Liberal Party, but they were both dismissed on crazy grounds. Ruby Dahlia and the other, I can't think of the guy, an Indian guy. I can't think of his name. But anyway, so you can just see how this is so easy. This happens all the time.
It's planned.
Everybody's put into the
Planned.
position.
There's cherry picking. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a guy who is completely unknown. Okay, there is nothing about Emmanuel Macron in you. There's not even a picture of Emmanuel Macron and his parents up until the age of like 12. Okay, there's no pictures of him as a baby. There's no pictures of him with his mom, with his dad. There's with his siblings, nothing.
But there's pictures of his siblings.
Yeah, not in the book, I don't think, but as far as I know, that's true. There are pictures of them. There are just no pictures of him with them. And the story goes that he was raised, for whatever reason, doesn't say, by his grandmother. So he lived in a very dark house with his grandmother, who was giving him pedophilic authors to read their books throughout his childhood. This is what is known. And because the grandmother, this woman was into this sort of stuff. So as a child, this is the type of materials he's given to read.
So he's being groomed by his grandmother already.
And I say grandmother in quotations.
Oh.
Okay. I'm not sure that that's his grandmother, but I'm going to say, okay,
Sure. Okay.
by his
That's the
grandmother.
story.
Yeah, that's what they say, but I don't know that that's true, that that's his real biological grandmother or not. So he's raised by this obscure woman in this dark home. He has no friends. And then finally at the age of 10 or 12, there's pictures, a few pictures of him at this new school. En français, La Providence. In Amiens, France. And again, that's where he meets at 14, Brigitte Macron. Now, okay, so now we get into Brigitte Macron a little bit, I think. Okay?
Sure.
So the funny thing about Brigitte Macron is that she comes from a family of chocolatiers, they say, which is like so funny and so typical. And she's got like 3 older siblings, 2 girls, 1 boy, and then there's her brother, Jean-Michel Trogneux, and he's probably 10 or I think he's 10 or 8 or 10 when she's born. And then there's her. So it's quite an age difference. They have 3 older children, then this Jean-Michel, and then I think 8 years later, they have Brigitte. Okay? And Brigitte actually, yes, she does exist. This is true. There is a small Brigitte. But Brigitte kind of loses her herself around the age of 20, late 20s, early 30s. Apparently, she gets married at 21. There's a photo of her getting married at 21, and it's verified that this is the same child. I mean, like, let's face it, guys, you have to read the book. I'm not going to go into this. Like, this is too crazy. But basically, the long and the short of it is Brigitte Macron is her brother, Jean-Michel Trogneau. And the discrepancy in age is even worse because now you have to know, that's why I told you that he was born 8 to 10 years before Brigitte. So if this boy takes on Brigitte's identity and she's 8 years younger than him, now you have to remember that he's 8 years older than you think. Right? So that's the discrepancy in the age too, between him and Emmanuel.
Say that one more time.
So the wife of Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, is a man, and it's her brother named Jean-Michel Trogneau, who's 8 years older than she is.
So she's taken on a false identity. This is not her true identity.
Okay, so what happened to the real Brigitte is still an unanswered question that I don't know. So, but there is a wedding photo, and it's verified. This guy uses the same facial recognition that the WEF calls the best software available, and it's what the Chinese Communist Party uses in their social credit system in China. So it's a very reputable AI facial recognition software. He puts in the baby picture of Brigitte on the knee of, we can show these, we can edit these pictures in. We'll show these. Okay, yeah. Thanks. We'll edit this in later. Thanks, Alora. And so I'll show you these pictures. You'll see them on the screen now. But see now there's a picture of Brigitte Macron on the lap of her mother, and then to the right is her brother Jean-Michel Trogneau. And this is the swap. So we have another picture of Brigitte getting her first communion. And then we have another picture of Brigitte at 21 getting married to this guy called Jean Ozier or something like that. Okay. So at 21, she gets married, and we can verify that the Brigitte at 21 is the Brigitte at 10, is the Brigitte on the lap of her mom. Okay? So we know that Brigitte gets to the age of 21, gets married.
The real Brigitte.
The real Brigitte.
Okay.
And we think, but I don't know, but we think she has 3 kids of her own. The real Brigitte has these 3 kids. They were born in like maybe 1974, 1976, and 1982, off the top of my head, something like that. So they're about my age. They're in their early to late 40s. Okay. So at some point after this, she disappears. We don't know what happens to the real Brigitte, and the book doesn't tell you. So I don't know what happened. It's like a family secret. We don't know what happened to the real Brigitte, but we know that around 1986, Jean-Michel Trogneau starts to use the identity of his sister, Brigitte.
Should I do a genogram? Should I draw this out for people?
No, because Candace Owens has a thing that we'll try to that Alora will put in, so they'll be able to see it. So people will be able to see it. But so far, the long and the short of it is, a sister disappears and a brother takes over her identity.
Right.
Okay, like that's
the older brother.
The older brother takes on the much younger sister's identity.
And at some point, the real Brigitte dies, though?
We don't know.
But he takes on parenting her kids.
It seems that. It seems as though the new Brigitte and the original husband of the real Brigitte continue to live this fake marriage until 2007. And then she finally divorces Jean Ozier, I think that's his name, and marries Emmanuel.
I'm sorry. So the father,
The husband,
husband
and father,
and
yep,
father,
of the 3 kids of Brigitte.
they get divorced, and then he marries her brother.
No, I think you have that. I think you have that confused. So, okay, Brigitte, the real Brigitte marries a guy, has 3 kids.
Yes.
The real Brigitte disappears.
Right.
Jean-Michel Trogneau, her brother,
Yes.
takes on the
Her
identity.
Okay.
She's married to a man that has the 3 kids with. It appears as though those 2 pretend that this is still the same Brigitte. They stay in a marriage until 2006 or 7, when they divorce, and she then immediately marries Emmanuel Macron, who she's been continuously having an affair with for all of these years.
So he's gay.
It gets worse.
Oh, right. Oh,
It gets worse.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, everyone's looking for this Jean Osier, the husband of the original Brigitte Macron. Okay. And all of a sudden, a year later in 2020 or 20, I think it's in 2020, they post an article, a death thing. What do you call that in the paper? Obituary.
Yeah.
They post an obituary of the dad, the ex-husband of Brigitte, and say that he died a year earlier. So all of a sudden, this guy died in 2019, but it wasn't public knowledge until a year later. The funeral has weird circumstances around it. It was in the very first thing in the morning before the funeral home opened. No press were allowed to come, or no press were notified. There's a few other things. Oh, one of the daughters says that he was cremated, but he wasn't. Anyway, we have some work being done at the house, and so the guy came, and the dogs, of course, had to bark. But anyway, we're back. So we were talking about Osier's funeral. So anyway, he dies under odd circumstances, and there's not very much information. When you go back and try to look at his life, the interesting thing is there's only 2 pictures available of this guy. The one is the wedding picture to Brigitte in 1974 or 2, whatever that was. And then the photo that they show on his obituary, which is of him in weird little bathing suit shorts on a beach. So can you imagine that? That's the picture that's the only picture that they have of you to put on your obit card. Is this weird picture of you in a skimpy bathing suit, because they said that everything else of his life was destroyed. Like, what?
There's just a lot of skeptical things that feel like they're trying to cover up or to change a story or to
bury a
past.
It's crazy. And then
so then you have to wonder why.
Okay, so one more little tidbit of information is that this guy has, since the divorce to Brigitte in 2007, he's had a life partner, a woman. And this woman says that when she was going through his belongings, she found receipts for tickets to Africa. I'm just saying. So whether or not someone paid this guy and was like, here's a ticket to Africa, there's money in this account, don't ever come back, type thing. Because that's what it seems like to me, is that this guy was, unless the whole idea of the Africa tickets is planted and it's just to throw people off, who knows? But that's one more tidbit of information. Now, during the pause, Laura asked the question, why? Why do you care about this? Why are you talking about this? Why are you so obsessed with this? It's weird. I don't think this is weird to be obsessed with, personally. I am fascinated with this topic because it appears that this has been going on in, I'll say, circles of nobility for a very long time. Like,
this isn't anything
hundreds
new.
of years. This is not new. And so I don't know if there's something about these. I honestly haven't done enough research to say anything, but about the 12 bloodlines, like there's this obsession about the 12 royal bloodlines. And even this Rothschild lady, I can't think of her first name, but there's a clip of her that maybe we'll put in, and it talks about how incest is best. Something is nice. Love is nice, but incest is best. And she's on camera saying this in an interview because you keep it in the family. That's what she literally says. Incest is best because you keep it.
It keeps the bloodlines going.
It stays within the family. So you can marry your first cousin. Like they marry their first cousins, not siblings, but they would marry first cousins. That's why these people look kind of fucked up too. Like that's why there's lots of really ugly royal family people, because they do have incestuous relationships. So, okay, why does that matter?
Why is that matter? Important?
Because what people don't understand is the systems that you follow, that the systems that are why we are who we are and where we are and why our societies function as they function is from these people. These are the people that create the laws, that own the land, that own the banks, that
they make all human. They run the world. They make all the human laws that continue to create disparity, keep power in certain hands, and poverty in others. It's designed. It's all designed, and it's all handpicked and planned so that it benefits and continues to keep power and wealth in certain hands.
Yeah, and it also matters because the people are having the wool pulled over their eyes and they don't understand what's going on. So they're selling you a lie, and that's why I'm obsessed with it, because I hate the fact that people are so stupid that they can't see that Michelle Obama is a man. Like, I know that right now that sounds crazy, but that's not crazy. No. Michelle Obama is a man. And just like Brigitte Macron is a man, this is not something that's actually that unusual. And the reason I'm obsessed with it is because they're doing it right in front of you. And your eyes are really telling you what you're seeing, but you're being told that you're not seeing what you're seeing.
It's an illusion.
And that's what really pisses me off. Yeah. It'd be one thing if they were doing it behind closed doors. I don't care what you do behind closed doors. It's the fact that you're making all of us think something that's not true. Mm-hmm. And you're lying about who you are as human beings. Mm-hmm. When you're voting for a politician, you're voting for that person. You're voting for the party, of course, and what the party stands for, but you fall for the person. That's what you are clinging to. Mm-hmm. You know, when I voted for Justin Trudeau, I wasn't voting for the Liberals. I was voting for Justin Trudeau. Mm-hmm. I thought he was so fantastic. Mm-hmm. It wasn't for the Liberal Party. He could have been running as a conservative, and I probably would have voted for him. It was his message. It was his charisma. Mm-hmm. And he's an actor, people. Yeah. That's what he's been trained to do. It's just like Zelensky. This is all an act. He's an actor. Mm-hmm. And that does get me about Trump. It does, you know, I have been known to be a Trump supporter, but I also am smart enough to know that if I believe what I believe, everybody is put in place. Mm-hmm. And now when you shoot someone and try to kill them, it makes me think of JFK, who's someone else that shouldn't have been where he was. And maybe, you know, sometimes guys can get in that, you know, they really try to have not get in. And maybe it's a pretty rare instance, but maybe it does happen. Or maybe Trump's a plant just like the rest of them. I don't know. But what I do know is that it's important that we as a society understand who's fucking ruling our societies. And Macron has an impact on us. France is part of the G7. They have an impact on what we do. Mm-hmm. What we do and what they do is part of this globalist agenda. Mm-hmm. So if people wake up to the fact that they've been lied to and that they've been following along a story of Emmanuel Macron, a conqueror who conquered his older, beautiful teacher. No.
Was that the story?
That's the story that they pushed, that he conquered her.
Who, in in any other situation, nobody would ever say that about a student conquering their teacher. You would always view it in terms of the power dynamic and who has more power.
Yeah, no, they
have
pushed
more influence.
They pushed that he pressured her.
That's
that
disturbing.
he wouldn't let it go.
So
and
that
see, here's the thing. Sorry, go ahead. Okay, originally the press started to push back against this when it first came to light, when they were first starting to be introduced to the public. Obviously, you can tell that there's an age difference. And so people started, was that in 2017? Okay. So in 2016, when the election starts to ramp up and they start pushing Brigitte and Emmanuel on the public, there are some reporters that start to push back and discuss this age difference and the power dynamic. And that's when they hire this lady named Mimi Marchand, who, again, you have to look into. And she owns this press company in France. And basically, she just runs smear campaigns. So this is very normal. This is exactly what's happening right now with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. This is what they do. It's possibly, people, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's possibly what happened to Harvey Weinstein. I don't know if you're following what's going on there, but holy shit, like, it turns out that maybe you shouldn't believe all women. Just like maybe you shouldn't believe all men, because women lie and men lie. So to say believe all women, that's kind of fucking retarded, if you ask me. Like, you've never heard of a woman that lied about being raped or lied about... I've heard that story 100 times because they got pregnant and they were afraid to tell their parents, so they told them that, you know what I mean? Like, I've literally know that in real life, so I know that it's a possibility. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's yeah.
So the importance of their story, from what I'm gathering anyways, is that it's uncovering the veil, like lifting the veil of what people so people can see past the illusion and see what's actually true and what's happening.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, yeah.
And in this day and age where we have access to so much information, and like Candace Owens and her investigative team, they're going and researching, going to the places and talking to the people and really doing fact finding on this stuff.
Real fact checking.
Yeah. And so it's showing us that there's more to the story than meets the eye, and people are starting to discern what's real and what's not. And we're seeing a pattern. Now people are recognizing that there's a pattern. Michelle Obama was becoming Michelle. She literally tells you
that's the name of
she's
the book.
Becoming a woman.
Becoming Brigitte. It was obviously a play on words from Michelle Obama's Becoming Michelle. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're throwing it in front of you. They have to tell you the truth.
If anybody doesn't know that Michelle is a man, you got to watch some videos of and how Obama calls her Michael many times.
And there are a couple of pictures of them in their youth together, and it's very obvious.
Yeah.
It's very obvious.
Yeah. We've had a gay president. We've had
a gay black president.
A gay black
We are
president.
not a racist continent here.
Who lied?
Who lied
about
a
gay
lot
black
of stuff.
president who lied about a lot of stuff.
And if anybody's wondering why Michelle Obama didn't run in the election, because that was the big, that was the hype that she was going to run. That's why, guys, because too many people are on to the story of that she's a man, and there's no way in hell that she was going to run and it wasn't going to get exposed. That's why she did not run. That's why Kamala Harris, Kamala, how many other names can you say it? How many other ways can you say it? That's why she was the best choice they had, because Michelle could not possibly get away with it. Too many people know. And that's why now they're saying that they're getting divorced, because she needs to be put out of the spotlight, because it's just too hot. They've got to move away from her. So they're divorcing them, or they're having them be separated for a while just to kind of cool it. Because people know, people are onto them. So that's why it's important. That's why it's important to me, because everything that we see every day is a fucking lie. And I'm fucking tired of it.
You are a truth seeker, and you'll comb through all the crap to see what's actual real and what's not. That's why you get really excited about this information, because you're like, you're uncovering the truth in the world. Yeah. And that's why you get so motivated to learn more. Yeah. Whereas I'm like, who's that? And then that's the brother, right? Like, I can't, it's a lot to keep up with, because,
and we literally just scratched the surface.
Yeah. And I think this is just one little piece in the bloodlines and in the royal families, that this goes really, really, really deep, and it goes far back. And then when you get into an understanding, what the ministry of Satan, like the the occult?
Baphomet.
Yeah, Baphomet, and what's the other one? Because
The Church of Satan.
yeah, but the lines between all of the, like the incest, the normalizing of
Pedophilia.
pedophilia, gender confusion, like all of this is connected to Adam Cadman.
Yeah.
Okay. Which was, according to Hebrew sages, Adam Cadman was created as an androgynous or man woman. And same with Baphomet. So Baphomet is the symbol of balance in occult and mystical traditions. He's in the ministry of Satan. He's the goat, half man, but he's also got boobs. He's like half man, half woman. He represents day, night, the balancing between the opposites. But Satan and God. Okay, so the ministry of Satan, they follow and they cherish Baphomet.
Yeah.
And Hollywood is no different. Hollywood is normalizing.
Hollywood openly worships Baphomet.
Yes, yeah.
That's why every performance that they do an offer to him with their
through symbolism.
With their outfits and with their backgrounds.
Sam Smith.
Yeah.
Sam Smith. He when he first got into the music industry, he was so beautiful and innocent and conservative, and
Skinny.
he looked healthy. And now you watch him on his tour, and he's very overweight. He's pushing, like he's wearing
nothing,
like no clothes, but like
he's wearing
BDM, BDM kind of stuff.
Yeah, disgusting.
And normalizing like S&M. That's like S&M type stuff. Same with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Isn't that in one of her?
It's in all of her.
There's a lot of occult symbolism.
I think that she's the daughter of Anton LaVey and his wife. What's her name? We'll put that picture in too.
Explain who that is.
He's the founder of the Church of Satan, and then his wife had a daughter. And I'm telling you, when we insert the picture right now, insert picture, you're gonna be blown away when you see the two of them side by side.
So in Hollywood, everybody also has a handler.
Yeah.
Right?
So her real parents are her handlers. Her fake parents are her handlers. And from what I understand about her dad's quite the businessman. So it's obvious why they're given that child to raise, because they can use her and they know how to financially build on her talent.
Yeah.
That they literally created for her, because they had, there's a claim that Taylor Swift writes her own music. She did not write her own music. Her dad had quite a bit of money and was already very well versed in the music industry and had people writing her songs and music for her.
When she signed with her first record deal, there was a huge meeting over this, because her dad bought so many shares of the company.
Yeah.
So that he would be an influencer of.
Oh yeah, you've been listening to Candace Owens.
Yeah. Yeah, I got into that. I know.
So yeah, I mean, no, but that's the thing. Again, that's the importance of talking about this is uncovering all of these things that everybody just thinks that it's just by accident that Taylor Swift is who she is, and guys, like, it's not. They're put there it was on
well
purpose,
orchestrated,
and
well
it's
planned.
orchestrated, and there's no mistake about it. It's not just about who, there is 3 ways to get into Hollywood. There is talent. That is the one, but it's very few people, and I'm telling you right now, she's not one of them.
And who stays at high levels just purely on talent. or who stays in
No.
the world of
No.
performance.
Nobody would make it at 12 years old if they were just writing their own music. Nobody would explode like Taylor Swift did at 12 years old. Like it just, other than
Justin Bieber, kind of, and then
what? Okay, Justin Bieber got found on YouTube, okay, by Scooter Braun, okay, but think about who Scooter Braun is, right? So it's not like Justin Bieber got famous on YouTube. He didn't. Someone found him, a guy that may have, I don't know, creepy ties, by the way, finds this young boy on YouTube, plucks him from a small town in Ontario, Canada, okay, brings him to the fucking wolves where Justin Bieber has to submit and do all kinds of things in order to get his fame and fortune. Do you think that is talent? Is that based on talent? I'm not saying that Justin Bieber couldn't have made himself famous, but I'm saying that that's not the way he chose. That's not the path of Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber got famous because P. Diddy fucked him. Literally and figuratively. That's how Justin Bieber got famous. Could Justin Bieber have legitimately just lived in Stratford, played his guitar, gone on YouTube for 5 more years and tried to make it on his own? Honestly, he probably could have, because I don't think anybody can sing better than Justin Bieber. Like, he's a beautiful singer. But that's just, that's not how he got to Hollywood. He didn't get to Hollywood on his talent. He had to do gay shit. There's pedophile stuff, there's gay stuff, and there's talent. Justin Bieber did gay stuff / pedophilic stuff because he was a fucking kid.
Yeah, I mean, if you go, there's lots of videos of different people in Hollywood being aggressive physically or putting him in really compromised or questioning
and that's
him
in
with
public.
sexualized questions.
Right? Think about that was in public on camera.
Yeah.
Think about what happened at some of these parties
Behind
and
the
events when there's drugs and alcohol and everything else involved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. How far into this are we? Roughly. We're an hour in. Okay, I want to keep going because we're almost. Anyway, I want to get to the conclusion because I am going to tell you what happens. So I am going to tell you what happens at the end of this book. Okay, so now we've kind of focused on. I've told you about what I told you about. Now let's get back to Jean-Michel Trogneux a little bit, okay, and why this is important. So in France at the time, I don't know if this is still true, but at the time when you turn 18, you have to serve in the military. Okay. And there's only a few ways that you can get out of this. And one of them is if it's due to like, maybe if you have a family, like maybe you already got somebody pregnant and you have a family, or some sort of professional commitment. Okay. So it's actually the dad, Jean-Michel Trogneux's dad, that goes down to the, military office and says that my son can't participate because he's in Algeria. Now, at the time, I think this is in like the mid 70s, Algeria had just been freed from communism. So communism had just been lifted in Algeria. But it was a highly pedophilic state. So a lot of foreigners would go to Algeria if they wanted to have sex with boys. That's a known fact at the time. So it's a bit odd that the records show that Jean-Michel Trogneux at the age of 18 to 20, early 20s is in Algeria. Presumably doing pedophilic stuff with young boys.
So wait, he's not like the bottom, like the victim in that situation because he's young.
Who's not the victim?
So this is
Jean-Michel Trogneux. Is he the victim? Is that what you're asking? No, because he's an adult now at 18 to 21, and he's going to Algeria to have sex with little boys. So he already knows at 18 or 19 that he's a pedophile, basically. Because he's doing that at that age already.
Okay.
Okay?
Could it not be that he's being sent there by a handler and he's getting normalized into that? I don't know. Okay. Creepy. Move on.
Could be. I mean, it very well could be, I suppose. But it could be.
Anyways, he's in the world of...
It's fine.
It
could be.
He's in that world of pedophilia and the normalizing of it.
Yeah.
Like, actively. Okay.
I mean, now that I think of it, like, could Jean-Michel Trogneux have, like, been a never, I don't know if that would, like incestual with his sister Brigitte, and that's why she killed herself, or they killed her. I don't know. That's just something I totally just made up. But
Well, who knows? Because
Anyway.
the family's keeping secrets.
yeah,
So who knows how deep this goes within the family.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, that's a tidbit of information. Jean-Michel goes to a known place where people go that are pedophiles. Okay. And there is evidence in the AI to show that the end of the book shows the Brigitte today and the Jean-Michel Trogneau of then are the same person. Okay, so there is no doubt now that Brigitte is her brother, Jean-Michel Trogneau. The Brigitte of today.
Okay.
Not the Brigitte of the wedding photo. The Brigitte of today is 100%
The brother.
the brother.
Okay.
They don't have DNA, but they have the facial recognition. And the facial recognition is like the percentage of it. It wasn't 100%, but none of them are. Okay? Whatever the percentage was, it was like 77% or something. That's like a high yes. Okay? And especially because you have to remember that one picture was taken like 50 years ago, and she's had work done. A lot of work done. And it's still giving you like the highest rating to say that's the same person. So that is very conclusive that that is the right person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, the ending of the book is so uncomfortable and fucked up that, what you basically find out. Okay. There's another little part I have to say. There is this nephew. Oh, I should clarify this, but there's a relative on Brigitte's side called Jean-Jacques Trogneau. And we're going to show this picture too. Jean-Jacques Trogneau right now. So you're going to have Jean-Jacques Trogneau on the left, and you're going to have Emmanuel Macron on the right. And they are going to look like the spitting image of each other. These two men. Emmanuel Macron and Jean-Jacques. They're like identical. Okay? But it's weird because Jean-Jacques is on Brigitte's side of the family, apparently. So how does Emmanuel Macron, who's not blood, look so much like this guy on Brigitte's side? So the conclusion is...
Dun, dun, dun. Oh my God.
No, I'm going to tell you because no one's going to. Well, I hope you do because I'm leaving out so much fucking information. It's not even funny. Jean-Jacques appears to be Brigitte's son. And Brigitte is Jean-Michel Trogneau. So it appears that Brigitte had fathered Jean-Jacques. But because Jean-Jacques looks identical to Emmanuel Macron, it is believed that Brigitte Macron is Emmanuel Macron's father.
So messed up.
And guys, like, I know that hit you hard right now, and I know that now this makes everything seem very sus and very not plausible, but I'm telling you right now that is the truth. Well, and that Jean-Michel Trogneau, i.e. Brigitte Macron, is Emmanuel fucking Macron's father. It's an incestual male father-son relationship.
Ew.
This is the current sitting president of France. No, president.
President?
President of France.
Wow. Wow.
And I'm telling you right now that when I read that, I was like, I think Jen was maybe hearing, I was like, no, like, oh no, that's not true. Like, because it's leading you towards, you're kind of like, no. And then it just literally, they come out and say it. And it's like, no fucking way. And I had to read the whole chapter a couple of times because I was so thrown off by that.
It's incest in the public sphere, completely normalized.
So the whole thing about that now, when you take that into consideration and then you go back to what we talked about at the beginning with him being 14 and Brigitte being 39 or 40, now you have to really think about the whole father-son dynamic. Like, is that when it started? Like, actually, is that when it started? And that's why they say that's when it started? Or is this something that was going on?
Well, then that's what we were saying earlier, is that there could be a lot of incestual secrets within the family already. That's why that there's not a lot of, like,
I know
that if this is that far in the public eye, like, how deep does that go within the family? Think about that.
Yeah, no, I have thought about
right?
it.
Like,
So
that's
I have thought about it. It's pretty fucking gross.
look. I'm not. Part of me is shocked, but the other part of me is also putting other dots together, because even I'm going to connect the dot to Nickelodeon. The kids show we grew up watching. What was that show? Where
I didn't grow up watching Nickelodeon,
where they would.
but I was older than you.
Yeah, where they would spray green goo on people.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? And the kids.
I only know because I watched the documentary that your friend suggested I watch. After school, the Nickelodeon special after school or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't think of the show. The
But they would, they were normalizing so much, like, grooming type of behavior in that kids' TV show. It was like a reality kids show.
It was like constantly the girls were getting like jizz in their face.
Yeah.
But like they didn't know. When I watched the documentary, what was kind of clear to me was that the kids were relatively innocent. They didn't really know why it was funny, and they went along with it because the adults were laughing.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't really get it, but it was like 100% sexualized.
Yes. Which is grooming.
Yeah.
It's a
Slime.
You can't do that on television. Yeah.
No, that was a Canadian show. You can't do that on television. Remember that was on YTV.
But it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, I don't remember that show.
Yeah.
But yeah, they would do everybody get ready to get sprayed by this green goo. Yeah. I remember watching that as a kid, kind of not really feeling like I didn't really like it, but it felt like, oh, I should, because this is like an exciting thing for kids to enjoy. Like, this is a funny thing. But there was always part of me that was like, that's kind of gross. Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the 80s version. There's like a 2000s or like a mid-90s version that's but I honestly can't think of what it was called. But anyway,
just remember, like, it's all programming. Program your conscious mind, your subconscious mind. It's all programming to normalize behavior and culture.
yeah.
And we've been groomed, even in our generation, with the music industry and watching Christina Aguilera be this innocent Britney Spears, and then turning into this, they're making out on stage with an older woman.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like you mean you're referencing Madonna. Yeah, I mean that was fucking creepy. Right? And Madonna's the creepiest creep of all creeps. She's the fucking creepiest creep. Madonna's disgusting. Yeah. And when you look at her today, it's like she when Roseanne is hotter than Madonna, I don't know, everything's inverted, man. Everything's flipped because it's true.
We're seeing through the illusion. Have we flipped? We flipped back? We flipped the right way?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody would. I mean, a majority of my family would say I slipped the wrong way, but I don't see it that way. But anyway, so I don't know. I'm sorry to break the news to you that Brigitte Macron is Emmanuel Macron's biological father, and they're in an incestual pedophilic relationship, and Emmanuel Macron has until December of 2025 to bring charges against technically Jean-Michel Trogneau, but I don't think that will happen.
Okay, one final thing with that is that what just got me into this, and I've been listening to Candace Owens, but what I'm recognizing is that there's a lot of transgendered relationships in the political sphere.
Okay, can we do like a screen? Can we do like a slideshow too? Can we put in a few examples right now? Okay, so right now there's going to be some examples coming across the screen. We're going to have for
Chuck
sure Chuck Schumer for sure. We're going to have Barbara Bush because honestly, that's to me a no-brainer, but the Chuck Schumer one's crazy. And then if you look at Melinda Gates today, Melinda Gates is not the real Melinda Gates. It's a man. It's a man for sure.
Yeah.
We'll put that in. And then we're going to show you some other royal people like this queen, Kalina or Kalina of Bulgaria and the old black and white picture. Remember of?
Yeah.
Oh, and then Happy Rockefeller and Pat Nixon. Oh my God, there's so many. Like Richard Nixon's wife. Yeah, guys, it's fucked up.
Just remember, the world is a stage. Like
It's
everything
crazy.
is an illusion.
crazy.
There's so much acting and there's so much puppeteering that's going on, and we're just watching it and getting programmed and just thinking it's normal. But the more that we wake up, we take off the veil, we see through it, and we can go, "That's not true. That's a man. That's not real. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong."
Once you see it, you can't
unsee it.
That's just the thing is
Yeah.
you just can't unsee it after a while. So not after a while. Once you really get it pointed out to you, then the jig is up.
Yeah, it's a
So-
bit shocking. It's a bit shocking. It was just like the COVID era of waking up to a lot of stuff in the world and then having to go through that kind of dark night of the soul experience and feeling shocked and disgusted by a lot of the energy of the world. But I always just remember, like, there are a mirror still, and they are showing us how to step more into our light, to step more into our discernment, to step more into our truth, speaking our truth, and listening to our intuition, our gut experience, our inner knowing. Because now when I see stuff, it's so much easier to decipher truth from falsehood, like just so much easier.
Yeah.
And the more it becomes actually entertaining, like looking at Chuck Schumer's wife, I was like, no way. It's so obvious.
so
It is
crazy.
so obvious.
Look it up now.
It's
you just
pretty funny.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I hope that you guys go out and get this book. It's written by Xavier Poussard, who's basically been exiled from France. He has to live in Italy now because the government went after him, basically, for uncovering this. So pretty fucking crazy. And,
That speaks volumes on its own.
Yeah, and why hasn't he been sued? If it's, I mean, same with Candace Owens. They've tried to have, like, multiple... Emmanuel Macron sent an over 100-page legal document to Candace Owens. However, they did not dispute any of her allegations. I mean, that's just proof in the pudding.
If you watch how politics and media work, they will try to destroy the person, come at you with power and force, and try to create fear in you to get you to stop. So anytime that anybody's like speaking truth and they're trying to dispel that person and try to defame them, cancel them, right, is usually a sign that you're onto something.
Yeah, exactly.
And they don't want it to be exposed.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
anyways, this was an interesting learning experience.
My favorite. I mean, I could honestly, if we could keep talking about this for another 5 hours, I'd be so happy to. I don't know why I told you why, but like, I'm really just, it's so fascinating to me that people can get away with the blatant ridiculousness.
Well, I just want to say, this explains why there's been a push with the transgender LGBTQ.
Oh, and by the way, the Olympic ceremony opening, that was France this year. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
And Brigitte Macron had a major role in the opening ceremmy. By the way,
refresh my memory. What happened?
It was the Last Supper. It was the blasphemy of the Last Supper. The big fat horse lady.
They were drag queens performing it.
Yeah, and then they had that weird, creepy pedophile guy in the painted all blue with just underwear on. And like, by the way, a majority of the people watching this are families and children. What's the point? This is not a drag show at midnight at a bar. This is the fucking opening ceremonies of the Olympics. And that was Brigitte Macron. She had a major hand in that whole thing that happened, by the way.
Interesting.
Yep. She picked the artist. Oh, and another little tidbit of information is if you look, we're going to post it, a picture of, we're going to post one more picture of Emmanuel Macron's official first photo in the office at the Élysée Palace. Okay. There's a book behind him. There's only one book on display, and it's written by a known pedophilic writer.
There's a lot of...
There's just always little breadcrumbs everywhere.
Yeah.
If I'm getting an official picture taken in the Ontario or federal legislator, I'm definitely going to know the one single book that's behind me, and it's probably going to be this one. It's not going to be a book written by a pedophile. Anyway, so I hope you guys liked this episode.
Hopefully you're not too stunned.
Yeah.
Or that you could even follow.
I hope you could follow it. Yeah. If not, I'd feel bad. But anyway, I hope you liked it, and we'll.
Any feedback, please offer.
Yeah. If you hated it, tell me, because I like to do more of these, but maybe people don't like it. Not that I really give a fuck what you think, but I mean, I do kind of want to grow the audience a little bit, not just for my own pleasure. So anyway, let us know.
Peace, Rabbit.
Peace out, Rabbit.